Well, some 100 years ago, a war was raging in Europe and a revolution in Russia, all of which would remake the Middle East and give rise to the nation of Israel. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
The Balfour Declaration by the British government in 1917 announced for the first time support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. And now members of Congress have joined with the Endowment for Middle East Truth to mark this 100-year milestone on Capitol Hill.
In 1917, that was the year of the Russian Revolution, and there were many, many pogroms, and it was also towards the end of World War I. In the midst of all of this, Lord Balfour had written to his friend, Lord Rothschild, that it was time to recognize the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine.
And it was that recognition of a Jewish homeland that planted the seeds for the incipient state of Israel, says Sarah Stern of the Endowment for Middle East Truth. But this milestone in the liberation movement of the Jewish people actually had its roots in the Bible, says Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert.
David moved up to Jerusalem, and the city of Jerusalem became the capital. And that is still the true capital. And I look forward, as others have said, to the capital moving to the true capital of Israel, Jerusalem.
A true capital, says Gohmert, and that capital was in what was then known as the true homeland. But it took a formal letter from a European power to eventually create that homeland, says Oklahoma Congressman Steve Russell.
They had no place to go to. They had the right of self-determination. And the Balfour Declaration started that process and made it possible for the modern state of Israel. That's something worth celebrating.
Worth celebrating, says Russell, and that celebration was also in some ways a recognition of Israel's warm embrace by this Congress and the Trump administration, says Eitan Leor of American Principles.
We maybe had 15 members of Congress or so here, but we have great support. Israel's got great support in the U.S. Congress. The relationship is very strong. We've got a very favorable administration that's very favorable to developing that relationship further without any caveats.
A second war in Europe and other challenges would delay the creation of the State of Israel until 1948. But it all started with a piece of paper a century ago this week. John Hines, One America News, Washington.